The legend of the Wendigo is rooted in the harsh, unforgiving winters of the North American wilderness. Originating in Algonquian folklore, the Wendigo was more than just a cautionary tale, it was a manifestation of something far more terrifying. In times of famine, when food was scarce, and survival hung by a thread, those who succumbed to the temptation of cannibalism were said to be transformed into Wendigos. A creature born from hunger, the Wendigo embodied the insatiable greed and endless thirst for flesh, haunting those desperate enough to break the ultimate taboo. As the stories spread across tribes, the Wendigo became a symbol of not only cannibalism but also unchecked greed. The creature was described as gaunt, skeletal, and eternally starving, a reflection of its cursed existence. Legend spoke of its horrific appearance, flesh clinging to bones, eyes sunken deep in its skull, and lips tattered from its own gnawing hunger. It roamed the forests, stalking those who ventured too far into the cold wilderness, feeding on their fear before devouring their bodies. Its presence was a dark reminder of what could happen when human nature is pushed to its limits. The transformation into a Wendigo was said to be both physical and spiritual. Once a person gave in to cannibalism, their body began to change, bones stretched, skin pulled tight over their skeletal form, and an unbearable cold settled in their soul. But it wasn't just hunger that drove the transformation, it was a spiritual corruption, a darkness that consumed their mind and body. The person became something no longer human, cursed to wander the frozen wilderness, eternally starving yet never satisfied. Over time, the Wendigo legend evolved, taking on new meanings. Some began to see the Wendigo not just as a cannibalistic monster but as a symbol of greed and consumption. In modern interpretations, the Wendigo's insatiable hunger became a metaphor for unchecked desires, greed for wealth, power, and resources. This shift in the myth speaks to the timeless nature of the Wendigo's warning, that unchecked greed and selfishness will consume a person from the inside out, turning them into a hollow, monstrous shell of their former self. Even today, the Wendigo continues to captivate our imaginations. Its image has been featured in movies, television shows, and even video games. But what is it about this ancient myth that still resonates with us? Perhaps it's the fear of losing control, of being consumed by our darkest instincts. Or maybe it's the eerie reminder that beneath the thin veneer of civilization, something monstrous still lurks, waiting for its chance to emerge. In the cold, dark wilderness, the Wendigo's hunger never dies. Is the Wendigo just a myth, or does its hunger still roam the forests? Do you believe? Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the next chilling chapter of the Wendigo legend.